Hello. So I'm going to wait until we have some viewers. The dog had settled down, but he likes to sometimes participate when I'm doing a video, so he perked up when he heard me say hello. I don't really want to first of all, I don't really want to get up. I'm kind of comfy, Sonny. And you also have had your, honey. You've also had a treat already. So I'm tempted to just put the radio on light. And if it happens to be on the Faith channel, I didn't put it there. All right. Not that I wouldn't, but sometimes I just find it too much, especially the hosts. Especially the hosts. I just find they're a little bit too mighty, a little bit too aggressive. I think that's the word. Okay, I'm gonna wait till we have viewers tune in because this is a especially conversational one. I mean, sometimes I have a bit of structure and ideas behind these. Sometimes it's comes with who tunes in. I think some people probably not say it right if I put fan funding, aka super chat, but it seems pretty similar. Well, all messages would be all of that, I'd imagine. Okay, so I did a lot of podcasting today, but I know I'm not the only one that does. I only give at least one other. Met him today. And I would have just watched some lives, but religious people seem to be coming into my radius a lot lately, sort of, and, well, as the title says. Please, go away. I'm not saying that to you if you tune in after the fact because there's no one here yet. Saying it to our annoying dog. I mean, he's lovely and great, and I don't mean to sound like I'm always talking him down, because, he gets a lot of love in that, but when I podcast or I'm on the phone, he often likes to make vocalizations, and it's distracting. And you know why he does it? Because if he's annoying enough, he gets one of these. Don't know how to untrain that because it's yeah. Anywho, so you can see what the title says. And I'm just curious, everybody has different reasons for believing in God or going to God. I mean, I want people, okay, and I lost the person now. Did they not read the title? Yeah, maybe they didn't. Maybe just this said, oh, there's a cool looking guy in a hat. Or I think I've seen him before, he's cool. Oh, this is religious, I'm out. They weren't there very long. I wish I knew how to, on this device, definitely the connectivity seems to be stronger than it used to be because of that thing we got, but I wish I knew how to, on this device, type a little comment. But the title says it very well too, I think, honestly. As far as setting things in place, the only thing it really didn't say is that, and I say this because one, I want people to be comfortable, and two, I'm not the most religious person out there. There are other people that are far more religious. That does not mean that I'm not somewhat religious, and that that does not, maybe there's a part of me that's also saying it because I don't want to be preached at, because there's a way to do it. I was watching back, and there was a couple things, there was one thing he said, I don't know if it was in reply to what I said or just something he said. He says, God or Jesus never fails. God, Jesus, but never fails, it's always there and everything. And it's that kind of talk I have a hard time with. Great, if you feel that in your own life, or you've been convinced that to that point, strongly enough, but I haven't, and I'm not the only one, you know what I mean? There's a song out there I'm tempted to do, if I can. I'm tempted to do it. Let me see if I can find it, since it's come to mind. And maybe I'm meant to do it. And it is 9:42. We were ahead of schedule for a bit. Because I slightly feel okay. Our dog's finished the thing because it was just small, and now he's just sitting there good. So I hate to get up because he'll get up as well. Um, oh yeah, this guy's pretty popular these days. I know at least one or two of his songs, but I confuse him with Teddy Swims for some reason. Okay, I'm just gonna. It's a long title, so I'm just gonna put that. Add the word chords. I did. Actually, I don't have to get up to go to the piano to do this. To be honest, we just finally got my old guitar tuned up again. Um, my tuner app wasn't working very well. I've been playing the piano a lot more. It does have old strings, but I haven't played the guitar in a while, so I'm kind of wanting to. I didn't say that this was musical, but if the preview image when somebody scrolls by shows me with the guitar in my hand, well, they'll see that I am. Because yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm not really sure what to say on the topic. I mean, I kind of want to answer it with my own answer, come up with that, which I didn't really think of ahead. Not deeply anyway, but I also kind of want other people to tune in first. One, that might help my answer, and two, I might just be able to say, yeah, I relate to that. Oh no, that's not why I do it, but all the power to you kind of thing. Now, I do have that radio on, but I just got I just got comfy again. It's not that loud. Like I say, if I get up, the dog's laying kind of in front of me. I have room to go past him. He just thinks, oh, if you're getting up. I think it's the type of breed he is, and I don't know what. He loves us, you know. And so when I get up, the person that just tuned in, if they see the title, is going to think I'm talking about God at this moment. I'm actually talking about our dog. I'm actually agnostic. That's what I feel I am. And the viewer of that. Whether it's because I was agnostic, because they accidentally clicked out, because their phone died, because something came up where they're at, I don't know, but I'm still likely agnostic. Yeah. So I'm going to keep that radio on and hope that I'm louder than it. I wouldn't mind getting a cold water too. I have a couple of waters here. The dog just completely laid out flat now, so he was kind of laying upright. But so, I don't want to get there. Lord, I'm thankful that I have water. Even though my teeth can't do it if it's too cold. Got a ridge in my teeth today. At least not on my shoulder. And I don't really like to do it when it's too warm. Water, that is. But I'm going to give this song a try. Where do I want to put this? I like to bring it a bit closer than that thing is. Maybe put this in front of it. Ooh, does not look cool. I've never played this song before, but I've been playing guitar most of my life. Like I say, sometimes dry spells. And Michelle, if you see this is not the one I was referring to. Like I say, it had the heart in the title. That's the one I was especially wanting you to see. There was also one the day before that. But not that this one isn't, but I wasn't messaging you about those ones. That's all I'm saying. Oh. I don't know if that proppage works or not, but let's try it. Now, I don't know this song very well. I'm actually just going to quickly look through the rest of the lyrics until we get somebody here, just to make sure. I mean, one of the lyrics in it is drunk off my ass. I've never been that drunk, and I don't really have a desire to be. But I don't hate the lyric enough to not sing it. Okay, right. Okay, so I'm going to do this song. It's pretty popular right now. Um, and then we can have a chit chat. This is a song by Jelly Roll, I think they're called. Sorry, my eyes are bugging out for a moment there. The distance of the phone, the lighting in the room, the fact that it's late at night. I'm tired. The person laughed, as if this lighting and the tar in my leg aren't intriguing them. My lit up face. It's like ghost story. Did I say that? Starts with the chorus? Interesting. And it claims fourth fret, but I beg to differ. I beg to differentiate. And I beg you, God, to hear me. And this is where one of my beliefs comes in. I feel like He can give us each other, He can give us the angels. What if we all expect Him to just, at our beck and call, as soon as we start talking to Him, like, be there? In this gigantic world with all kinds of things going on and all kinds of people trying to reach out to Him, that's what I fathom, that's what I struggle to believe. It's just, I believe that there is a God, I believe that there are other positive holy entities, but I don't believe He's almighty like a lot of people think He is. And I somewhat understand why they would think He is, but I also kind of don't, and I'm not here to tell people what to believe, but I think it's kind of a little silly to expect miracles or expect too much from Him, because like I say, there's just we can see the chaos in the world, and we can also see. Good thing I'm rambling for a bit. You're gonna lose me for a moment while I plug this in, but nobody's here anyway at the moment. I can also see. So I don't like how that pick is between my fingers. I'm worried I'm gonna drop it. There we go. Yeah. So I should talk for a few minutes and let this charge a bit. It charges pretty fast. Don't know about doing this when it comes down, but anyway. Hopefully the radio is not too loud. The AC is on, and I'm talking, so. Although the audio recording quality on this device is quite good. So I'm going to do a song in a moment, but yeah, just to kind of finish my thought and welcome yours. And we talk in respect on this channel about people's various feelings and beliefs and opinions. And the viewer left because they're like, well, I'm not wanting to do that, so sayonara. No, they didn't say that, but they did come in for a few seconds and then left. Either that or they clicked in and then they realized what the title was. But again, the title is speaking of how we treat each other on this channel. And I'd just like to take a moment. One thing I will say is when people are talking to God and nobody else is around them, I will say it's probably doing something to make them feel comforted. Come to think of it, it took me 39 years. Well, that's minus 6 or 7 because when I was a kid. In fact, I didn't grow up religiously. I didn't really even grow up that much around religious people from what I recall. Or they didn't make it obvious. I don't think it's because I'm a kid. I mean, I was in a choir at one point in time, but it wasn't strictly religious. But for anybody watching this back on the playback, well, yeah. I grew up kind of sort of a very simple life in a lot of ways. As I've gotten older, I've had a lot of challenges and struggles in some ways. I've also had a lot of greatness, and I do think whether it was pre-planned by God or, maybe He gave a few small ideas for my angels to build on, and they've helped orchestrate things in my life, and but they're only so powerful. Just like I say, who I feel like, and just like any of us really. Although I would argue that the Lord is a bit more mighty than a lot of us. than most of us are. I mean, possibly I feel that just because he is the Lord. But, um, but not even him, I would feel. Like you say, you see all the chaos, you see all the things going on, and yes, we can blame other entities. At the same time, what about the things that are not really, really bad, but they're not really great either? You know, I mean, yeah, I'm sure. I've occasionally still, I've went from blaming God to saying, "Oh, I'm being cursed," you know. But no, I mean, um, but no, I think that prayer. I think what comforts people, especially when they're doing it in solitude, is, I mean, certainly lots of people pray and they don't have a whole lot of hope that, or feel a lot of hope that they're being heard, and that's understandable. But I think a lot of them, especially those who fairly strongly believe, I think that, they feel comforted that they do feel they're being heard, and eventually their prayers will be answered. Um, and somebody was really there for a few seconds, but didn't hear me because then I got. Just kidding. Just kidding. But or maybe I've had some religious people that come and they're like, you know what? I hope he puts this to God, whatever he's on about. I can put it to God and I can put it to you. Anywho, and to use. But yeah, so basically, um, what was the other thing? Maybe what I'll do is I'll say a bit more because I want this to charge a bit before I do the song, and then I don't know how long I'm gonna roll for tonight. There might be a part two to this. I'm not sure. Seems like not like my videos get long sometimes, and certainly the bulk of them is not necessarily about religion. I wonder if that's why a certain somebody asked if I was religious actually, because he was watching samples of the video. Maybe he was kind of getting that vibe and potentially a little bit surprised. I mean, I'm not close with him, but maybe he. And I hope he subscribed too. Um, Probably earlier in the day there. It's been a podcasty, rainy, chores kind of day, and I'm tired. I feel like anybody who's familiar with this channel a little bit might guess why I might feel like I need the Lord. Not necessarily anything to do with you know how things go on this channel, and I'm very thankful that there was a really, really well received. I'm happy. Would I be happy with bigger numbers? Sure, but I'm quite happy with how well a video did today. Some of them are kind of quietly. Um, I was gonna say received, but well, I mean, sometimes people are there. Sometimes not for very long. They get impatient or they prejudge. But no, people were sticking around. They were even coming back. They were liking. They were having a good old time chatting, and so was I. But I remember roomies in my man not much back. Said something with G. But yeah, so basically, religion's one of those topics in a number of ways. It does I do find it a bit triggering. But on this channel, we can work through our triggers together. It is a shared channel, and I know that the topic of it might make the other person on the channel and in the home, you know, long for something. I never used to be a churchgoer, but we had been going to one for a while. And it really wasn't the religious aspect that kept us away. It was some people being odd. Being odd and, just one example. I don't know if I should use it, but I don't know. With somebody wasn't not to get into politics or whatever, but you got to wonder: did a bunch of people just not vote because they didn't like either option or whatever, or did they really vote for him? Because I know that a lot of people don't like him, and I don't blame them. But here in Canada, I mean, I'm just not hugely political, so there's no point in us talking deeply about that. But there was a meeting night one time, and there's not a whole lot of people that went to it. Um, there was a couple that had a kid in the program, or one of the programs, and the pastor had his kid in the program. So Strand's kid actually. So sometimes they were there, my spouse, but sometimes it was just me and my spouse. Sometimes I'd get there first or whatever, and I think it was one of those occasions, or maybe it was just me. I can't remember anyway. But the matter is that so you're gonna vote. Voting's coming up soon. It says I'm not that political, and I don't know. I don't really. It's not really for me. And he says, well, that's no reason not to. And I wish at the time that I had said, it's my free choice, actually. And it is a reason not to. Anywho, I'm going to be doing a song in a moment. But, yeah, as the title says, okay, and the person left. But, yeah, I think that, yeah. I will also say, I meant to say it earlier in the video I did when the topic kind of came up. I know I did kind of mention uniquely why I might not have kids to my 50s or 60s, and unique reason about that, but we'll see if I get back into that, or if I see if I mention it again. But I will say that my reasons for believing, aside from the fact that it's nice to have something to believe in, when sometimes you struggle to believe in a lot of other stuff, even though you know that there's lots of stuff out there that is and that's worthwhile believing. Um, creation. Creation. Now, a lot of people like to say things are man-made. A lot of stuff is man-made. And I get that, but I also think that at the root of of everything, God, the Creator, has made it. He has brought mankind the ability to make it. Maybe that's a better way to put it. But I think of things like flowers, for instance, or like Earth itself. So many things in nature. Animals, including animals that, let's not get hugely into it, rip new, that breed naturally. That people. Well, he did. Certain person I'm thinking of that passed away recently. He did somehow breed birds. I mean, but like wild animals. I'm not going to get hugely into this topic, but that do that. Um, that's not by man. That's by animal, and not all of them are mammals. And that's possibly a great example as to why God is at the root of that, I feel. I also, I don't know if I want to save this one. I'm only at 26% and it drops fast, so it kind of, just got to take a bit of a breather before I say the other thought, because I'm tired and nobody's here right now. And you've been listening for 23 minutes, so hopefully, or anybody that sees this afterwards who watches this far will hopefully be like, okay, let's take a pause for a moment. Probably shouldn't be leaning on the guitar, but anyway. That being said, I don't know if I really want, I mean, if they are and they hear it, fine. But otherwise, I'm also, with this particular thought, and you're welcome to skip over a minute or two of it, because I know that it could get some interesting responses, but I'm not sure how much I want to talk about it. But I will say this, that I have felt one thing that, and this is how I know that they're positive, aside from the fact that they're my loved ones and they're not going to believe otherwise, and I can just tell. I have felt angels tell me that when they made it to heaven, they at least saw God, if not had a brief interaction with Him. And I've had so many experiences that I, just like people who have religious, awakenings or NDEs or whatever, that I can't not believe these experiences, including them saying that, like, they're closer to him than I am. So I mean, you know, and honestly, I'd believe that over any religious person that just says strongly believe. Um, you know, and everybody is different too. Some do it because of a sense of community. Some do it because, but there's many ways to get that. Some do it because they are struggling and they're in pain. Um, some do it simply because they were raised into it and that's all they know. Um, I'm also thankful that the one today and one yesterday religious people that I've come in contact with, both from India, I think actually, both and one at least was Christian, um, both young, but that doesn't hugely matter, I don't think. They have been open minded, and you know, not judged, not overdone it. One did leave, and I didn't know if I said something that offended him. Wasn't my intent. Um, he was trying to, and I should touch my angel. He was trying to, say nice things to me, and I wasn't like brushing it off, but I was expressing my beliefs, and I thought maybe he thought, okay, I might not be getting through to him, but I also don't think it was his only reason for coming onto the video, or he may have thought, it seems like we're just going to disagree, whatever it is, and we can disagree. You know, I know some people feel, religion's one of those topics, but I actually kind of feel like if we're respectful and we accept where people are at and the diversity of people and their beliefs, what's the problem about talking about religion? I think that there are more controversial things, and there are certainly some things that I are such a hard disagree that, like, I wouldn't associate with certain people. But there's also so many things where it's like, oh, we can just disagree, you know? Um, Now, I was talking to two people earlier today on my podcast, and there was somebody there for like a minute or two, and the one I don't think was religious, possibly both of them weren't at that point. It was a bit after. But also, please pray for me or hope good thoughts. I somehow got a chip in my molar this evening. I don't even know what I ate that did it. It was before I was crunching on cheese. Um, and I didn't feel anything break off. It's just suddenly my tongue notices that there's a chip there on my back molar. So hopefully my tongue doesn't, scrape it too much. Just can't put a band-aid on it. And it looks like I'll be booking a dental appointment next week. Anywho, which I probably should do to use up the rest of our benefit package before the end of the year anyway. Anywho, so, this is pretty close to when that's done at 10 o'clock. What was the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, I'm just very thankful from earlier and any of the podcasts that, people show appreciation on, you know, and that I get something from as well, either way. Um, Though the appreciation's always nice. Because, like, it was very neat to see that there was a couple people that tuned in. One didn't say her age, or since she was young. At one point, I thought, well, just because she is into like guns, she's also and a female, yeah, she's also American. And if you're raised around that kind of stuff from a young age, we don't have to talk much about that. It's not something I would really enjoy talking about much. But then yeah, you might use them at a young age, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know how old she was, and I wasn't mean to make her uncomfortable. I mean, I realized afterwards that it may have been after she kind of said a little bit of appearance. I said, "Okay, see a photo." I just like that was very strange, but really was I really was I really only going for 12 minutes? I know sometimes it seems longer than it does. Otherwise, it's at 36%. I don't know why my phone just suddenly restarted, and then when I came back to YouTube, it did say that it was still live, and then when I went to, I think, start a new one, it said, "Do you want to resume?" And here I am. So that was strange. And it really did feel like more than 12 minutes. But I talk fast, so sometimes I get a lot in a small amount of time. Or sometimes I do, anyway. I talk fast. Sometimes I don't. Actually, I'm pretty used to how I talk, but I think I talk at a fairly average pace, personally. Oh, this has been a long day and I'm tired. Um, I'm a little bit worried that the radio might be noisy, but I've already mentioned earlier where I kind of don't want to worry about that too much, so I'm just going to try and keep the dialogue going for the most part. Um, I had a post up that I don't know whether I should have kept up or not that I had on open on a social media page, but then I accidentally clicked out of it and have found myself on another interesting post. Seems to be from some songwriters group or whatever, which it very well could be. Something just disappeared off the. I thought something just changed. Okay, that little thing at the bottom. Um, but this kind of goes with the theme of this. Whoops. Mrs. Curtis says, my three best songs come after a spiritually dry period of maybe a couple months when prayer was just harder, choosing to follow Jesus when a lot of people were leaving during the pandemic, and growing in my understanding and love for the Eucharist. I don't know much about the Eucharist, actually. That's a fake name, I think, anyway. Rhett Butler says, about a woman every time. So I'm going to be doing a Jelly Roll song that fits with the theme. You may guess what it is in a moment. Um, hopefully that you won't lose us. The Wi-Fi connection's better now. Well, that was just the time and the battery charge and all that stuff that disappeared off the top there. Um, but like say a moment ago, it just well, I don't need to say anything. Nobody's here right now. Well, at least it doesn't look like it. Um, ooh, baby, that would be a song. That would be a song. I just got a little bit distracted from the topic of so some people's answers relate to it. And then I'm going to do a Jelly Roll song, which I think that I know it's a weird sounding band name if you've never heard of them, but you might know the song and it fits with the theme. Other than that, feel free to share your thoughts on the theme. But this person says that they wrote a song about their son's sudden and unexpected death and sorting out his stuff afterwards. And I have to comment this one just quickly. Um, their father passing away when they were 11, and I very much relate to that. Um, let's read it briefly. We didn't even have the heart to say sorry to that. So. Oris has come back. Somebody's here. So I'm going to be doing a song in a moment. Sorry for the way my face is lit up. It's kind of dark in the room, but it's the light of my tablet, the light of the moon. And yes, I'm curious for you to weigh in on the title of the video, your thoughts, and okay, you left, so whatever. Look who's asking the question. Why? It's a good question. It's not just right because you have to or don't. What? 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 I think what he might be trying to say is you don't need any one reason, and I might agree with that. Some people are very vague, and when somebody asks, curiously why, they aren't really any less vague. So we have somebody here. I welcome you to weigh in on the topic. I'm going to be wrapping this up with a song very shortly. I'm just quickly reading something that I might also want to talk about here. And this comment's intriguing me. We have two people here. I'm just going to read this because it's intriguing, and feel free to also comment. An entire album, more than a song, of a woman I was with for 3 years as friends when we had a fallout, and a year went by, but I had a dream of her in the hospital. So when I go to find her, and she did, it was true, but she lost her memory in an automobile accident and didn't remember me. At the time of her knowing, that'd be just that alone. Being remembered or not remembered, that would be a theme in its own. Um, Knowing her, it took 3 years to see that she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, ever seen, yeah. And had a connection of love. I still remember. I think it was in a group, a performance group that I'm in, and I think I maybe figured out the Sheila thing, but I just hope she's okay. There was a guy whose uh, partner, and then I'm also thinking of the music video for Riza, had become. I don't remember what her issue was. She had some sort of disability, and she really couldn't speak. And he would just sit beside her, do videos, and sing with her. And she wasn't lit up the whole time like this, or just looking happy, but most of the time she was. And every now and then she'd make a little noise, and you could tell that it was very cathartic and special to watch, that's for sure. River Love, the stress of her seizures, the other person in this channel has them, but thankfully they're under control pretty well with meds and that. And trying to remember me caused her to push me away out of her life. Been 3 years now, but the 3 years of remembering her was the best album I wrote. As such, each song is a memory. Syndromia, City Lights 2022. I'm hearing the song myself on the radio, but I should just be, while I still have a little bit of energy, get to the song I was going to do. Donald Trump, somebody says. I like the unique answers. That's actually, I don't know the song, but he's talking about an Elton John song. I mean, so I don't think he wrote it then. Um, Everything around me. People, movies, nature. The people and all of those are actually pretty good. How do you put meaningful on a scale? Fair enough, I suppose. Anyway, I'm going to try and play louder than that and play a song. I'm at 43%, so hopefully the device doesn't go out on us like it did before. Oh, kind of want to keep my arm covered. I noticed a guitar player the other day. I don't know if he just liked the look of it or if he preferred to not have a sleeve in the way of the strings, because he had one sleeve up, one sleeve down. Whatever that rhyme is. But okay, so I'm going to play a Jelly Roll song now, and then I'll play a peanut butter sandwich, and then we'll call it night. No, but seriously, and if you've never heard of them, you might know the song, you might not, but it fits with the theme of things in a nice way. I haven't played it really much before, but I've certainly heard it a lot lately, so let's see how we do. Take a swig of water, and the viewer left. But that's their loss, So, and it may not have been and yeah, hopefully that's not playing in the background, because I'm liking what's being. This is super bizarre and frustrating and weird, and it almost makes And I mean, it'd be one thing if but the options are different via the laptop and the cell phone, and still, like, the first time the phone went off at 30-something%, and it doesn't usually do this, but I've been using it a lot today. The first time it went off, came back, and it was at 12 minutes in. I thought that didn't seem right. I thought it had been a bit longer, but I said, okay, whatever. Then it did it again at 46%. And so sorry if this seems disjointed, and perhaps some of the things I said, whether I remember them later or not, are just meant for myself. or meant to be forgotten. I don't know, because um, when it came back on this time, it went back to 12 minutes, and I know we were at about 20, 23 somewhere area. Anyway, I'm tempted, but it's at least saving this much of it and trying to resume it. And even though I feel mixed, it's late, I'm tired. I've never actually played this song, I just heard it a lot of times. And it's doing that thing. Does it seem to be when I put it down there, but why the heck would that be? Shall I put it here instead? And the dog's over there in the kitchen now, so maybe I will quickly turn the radio off. Although he might still get up, but hopefully not. Oh, I was laying facing this way too. Oh, I stepped on the knot that was rope on my foot. Well, what else would I step on something with right at the top of my foot? Anywho. Oh man, am I tired. But I'll do this because, I want to, and I hope you enjoy it. I do apologize if it just kind of stops or freezes or goes blank. Like I say, the phone on a decent charge and the person left, maybe they're like, oh, if you're having connection issues, this isn't going to be enjoyable to watch. They didn't say that, but no, hopefully you'll stick with us, and hopefully it won't do that again. It's not been an issue with the Wi-Fi. It's an old secondhand phone. I mean, I did a 3-hour podcast on this earlier, and I've watched a few things, and I've looked at other social media a little bit, so maybe it's just tired. I have no clue. Anywho, so am I. So without any further ado, I'm going to do this song. Hopefully technology behaves and doesn't conk. And if it does, I hope that you'll be patient as I try and come back. Now, what did I do with the pick? Here it is. And the viewer left. They weren't even, it didn't do anything, and they weren't even. But maybe, I don't know. It's possible that they saw the title. But again, you can't address religion in a better way than with kindness and diversity and stuff. You really can't. 10:23 is probably not good down yet. So the dog's kind of stayed laying in the kitchen, so tempted to get a cold water, but don't want to make him get up. Or do I? I kind of do. My throat feels like it needs it. And I shouldn't die at 46%. Ooh! Another one already in there, so now right back, folks. I'm just putting a couple waters in the fridge. And then I'm just going to adjust this because, as I sometimes go on about, my teeth can't handle cold water, and I don't like warm water. And yes, I am thankful, as the viewer left. And I don't know, I can only presume. First guesses. They may or may not be accurate, may or may not have been personal, anything I said, while they, come in and sometimes don't stay very long, I've made lots of good guesses in other past videos. Sometimes it's the first time somebody might be hearing them, but it's not the first time myself saying them, and I really don't know what my phone is doing aside from being very annoying. I'm just going to say what I said before, for myself and for others. Although for myself, I might remember some of the stuff I said later. It might come back into my mind. I might not. What records and posts out there is what records and posts out there. I'm not going to, it's getting late. It's near bedtime. It's been a long day. I've done a lot of other good content on here today. I do know I'm going to watch for bed. But for some reason tonight, my phone is deciding to, on 30-something percent, 40-something percent, 20-something percent, because it dropped a bit, deciding to just randomly restart. And I'm not really sure what that's about. But it's, and then it'll come back and resume the podcast, but from like the 12-minute mark. It's also making me wonder if there's something either I or somebody, else or both needs to hear at that 12-minute mark that's like telling you, you need to go back to that. and make that a mantra, whatever it was. And at this point, I don't remember, so maybe I'll do that later. But maybe there's something to that. I don't know. And maybe God's saying, do this with this video tonight. No, I don't want to say that because some people could say, oh well, God told me to do it. And I don't think that's right. Or God will forgive. Yes, He is very forgiving, but I would say, but there are some things that, and it may not even seem like something like, you may think, oh, there's lots worse things. Still, I think we should, be thoughtful and precise in our actions and stuff. Anywho, I'm just going to get right to the song, and again, if somebody tunes in, welcome. I'm having some technology issues tonight. I'm hoping that this time it'll let me at least get the song out, and then I'll wrap this up, and the viewer left, because I've already said a bunch of stuff, and I just really don't feel like doing this again, or dealing with this technology problem tonight. So, but hopefully it lets me do this much at least, and is it doing it? I'm trying to remember, did it do it at the same point last time as it did the first time? At like the 23rd mark or whatever? Which means it's really only missed like 6 or 7 minutes, but I can put a lot in 6 or 7 minutes. Anywho, we're only at 25%, but that should be enough to do a song. So, sometimes I wonder, is this telling me I shouldn't be doing music because my talent and the times when I do it and it's enjoyed seem to be telling me otherwise? But I tell you, the times when it's not heard, I'm not able to reach goals, I don't like bars, I don't drive, things are too far, other people get selected by the time I come into the awareness of it or whatever. It does make me wonder, but you know what, I do it for myself, I do it for my angels, and it's just an added bonus when you get to enjoy it as well. I guess that's the way to look at it as well. But as a musician, and a performer, well, same thing really. I want to be doing more with my music, and it's not always easy to make that happen for some of us. So if you do have it happen for you, know you're blessed. I wouldn't even say that, there are a lot of people that, a lot of famous people, that a lot of religious people, like that guy, one thing he said, religious music or whatever. But there are so many songs with a great message, and they could be of God, it's just not as obvious, like the song. But, I've kind of forgot what I was saying, and I'm starting to ramble again. And I do want to get to the song. But yeah, it's meant for a greater good, I do believe. And, lots of religious people come on YouTube because they want the audience, and I'm not here to necessarily convert anybody, but if something I says resonates and it's like, oh, I never thought of it that way before, and maybe I could use that in my life, then cool, So again, I've been having some mild technical difficulties, so I'm going to hop right into this song. Hopefully it'll record it without problems. The viewer left, but whatever, and then that'll be it for this podcast. So, and sorry if it felt like, sometimes it happens anyway with my mind, but, or just, distractions, but this time it's been because of the device. So, if around the 12-minute mark things seemed a bit disjointed, they were. I'm gonna pray to the powers that be, to the great beyond, as I stretch, because stretching is good, as I said. What reasons I want. I kind of want this on, I just don't want to get too warm. I don't want my arm to be chilly though. Anywho. There's a drum beat from the music upstairs, which I almost think is perfect Well, I don't hear it really loudly, and once I start, you probably won't either. Even though this is a pretty good audio, pretty good mic on this phone. But let's give this a try. Kind of waiting for someone tunes in. Trying to just letting myself slow down and ease into this. You would too if you've been podcasting for 3 hours. Another one before that. Then you talk to yourself, talk to some company a little bit. You talk to the person you live with. And then you do this podcast. You know, you'd be a bit tired. And if you relate to me in a lot of ways, then you know what it's like. Here we go. Welcome, both of you. First time playing this, so please be gentle. And we got two of you here. Only talk to God when I need a favor. I only pray when I ain't got a prayer. Who the heck am I to expect a savior? Oh, if I only talk to God when I need a favor. God, I need a favor. I gave you one earlier today. It was a great podcast. I feel like it. Meeting some friends and talking a little bit with a friend that hasn't been super available lately. They've been going through a lot. I know amazing grace, but I ain't living them words. Swear I spend most Sundays drunk off my ass and I haven't church. You don't have to go to church to believe. Hardcover King James, only been saving dust on the nightstand. I don't know what to say by the time I fold my hands. I only talk to God when I need a favor. Welcome. I only pray when I ain't got a prayer. Well, who the heck am I to expect a savior? Just human, don't we all? I only talk to God when I need a favor. God, I need a favor. Amen. Telling me we have to charge you soon, but golly, more than one, and beggars can't be choosers. But I'll pay for all that I've done, just please don't let me lose it. I only talk to God when I need a favor. I only pray when I ain't got a prayer. Oh, who the heck am I to expect a savior? If I only talk to God when I need a favor. God, I need a favor. Amen. Amen. Hanging in there, just barely flowing up prayer. Hail Mary, still there. Lord spare me. Oh my God, Hail Mary. Hanging in there, just barely flowing up prayer. Is someone there? Oh, I thought we did for a moment there. Hail Mary, is still there. Lord spare me. Oh my God, Hail Mary. I only talk to God when I need a favor. I only pray when I ain't got a prayer. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Who the heck am I to expect a savior? I only talk to God when I need a favor. God, I need a favor. Amen. God, I need a favor. And we got two people here, and I thought of a bonus song. And you know what? I thought of it earlier today, too, so I think I'm going to do it. Kind of on the theme, but loosely. Dolly Parton, and I'm not sure who. You're going to lose me for a moment when I plug in the charger. I will be back. Or at least I think you are. This time it didn't do that. This device, and every time today that I've had to plug in the charger, it does. It's also conked out on 24, 30 something percent. Come back at 12-minute mark twice. But anywho, I'm going to try and put in one more song. It's getting a bit late here and I am tired, but I'm trying to remember what it's called. Right, I wanted to do a music video with this because the music, I wanted to recreate it like a actual official music video because it's just really neatly done. It is called, what's it called? God Only Knows. And I want people to know that this channel is not all about religion and faith. In fact, rarely. But, you could see anything with that, with a religious view or whatever, if you are a religious person and choose to, or not. It's fine. This is a very diverse channel. We get into a lot of topics and types of music, but I do try and keep it positive, uplifting, light. And if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, feel free. If you're commenting, I'm not seeing them, but let me change it to all, like it was before. I'm happy to have you here. Curious how you came across the channel. Probably something about God, maybe, I don't know. And if you've ever been here before and where you're watching from. I'm just typing in the next song. I might just sing it because this is at 8% charging. So I don't really feel confident putting it over there. It's also kind of it's got multiple singers in the song, so I don't know how I'm going to do with this anyway. Cordelia? Oh, well, hello. Hello, hello, hello. What an interesting surprise. I do realize who you are. Speaking of phone issues, the phone that we are connected on has conked. And but it's interesting because it was a certain someone that we met through that, and I'm anonymous with my name on here, by the way. And I remember sending you my channel ages ago. I don't know how you came across it tonight. I'm curious and very cool. That I had said I'd like to recreate this music. Maybe you're meant to be involved in that project. I don't have contact info anymore for me. Well, you got here. I'll get it from you-know-who, or you can. I've suggested it to her, but she's just been so busy, and her daughter's moving to Thunder Bay, as you know, soon for college. So, freedom to choose what is healing for you, or just what resonates in general. Yeah. It literally popped up, really, just really randomly. You didn't search anything or anything. Yeah, no kidding. Wow. You have to update me about how things have been. I've missed you, and I think it was just this morning I was thinking about Amara, is that her name? And her partners, I know, the other person here is thinking, okay, now there's a party with two people that know each other. I don't know if I'd call it a party, but yeah, anyway. But it's late. I did a really long and deep podcast earlier today, but I was thinking about Amara and her partner who was going to start that Lego channel. And I was curious to try finding it and being involved in it, of course, like I mentioned. And I've seen a cello a couple times today too, so that was kind of ironic. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification button, as I like to say on here as content creators. But then you'll see more of more of me, and we'll find a way to be in touch and maybe get together sometime soon as well. You got much going on in the weekend? Before winter comes, I hope to check out that dance thing again. You forgot about his channel? Yeah, remember to like. Not seeing you do it yet. Subscribe. Hit the notification button. I'm assuming it's you that's still here, because I don't think you'd leave, especially with, since we're familiar with each other and the randomness of you find. Sorry if this conks out. I've been having some technical difficulties, but so far, now it says 2 again. So I'm just going to do a little bit more, because you haven't really heard me sing much yet, and the other person may never have. And that's a real pity and a shame, so let's not have that. You still didn't hit the like button, or maybe you're trying to and it's being wonky. I know that you're here enjoying it, but those likes go a long way. And I do hope that you can check out some of the other videos on this channel at some point. We don't have a lot going on this weekend, so like I say, find a way to get in contact with us. No, it doesn't say that you did. The way that I've been most likely talking with most mostly been talking with Michelle, and there was actually, we almost used to talk every day. There's been about 3 or 4 days where her and I haven't. Like I said, I'm just giving her time with her daughter, and she's been busy. But yeah, you can ask her, for the ways to reach me. I'm fine with her giving them to you. And don't go out to the army and take your life at risk either, right? Like you're a nice person to have as a friend, and I'm glad that we're connecting. It's been what, 2 or 3 weeks, I think, but since we have. Anywho, um, is this the song that I? No, that's the Beach Boys. I don't want that. Not that I don't want Beach Boys, but that's not the song I was looking for. I'm kind of surprised that they. Geez, what two? Dolly Parton. Here we go. And who? Who's she singing it with? King and Country or King Country, something like that. And yes, if you'd like to create an actual music video for this, I'd love to do it, based similar to the video that actually there is of this. I guess I'm looking for. I typed chords. Praise charts. I've never heard of it. Oh, you have to spend money to get it too. Sounds good. Life is cray cray with back to school. You mean getting students, or you're going back to school? Yeah, like I say, not much going on this weekend, and the weather is supposed to be rainy tomorrow and then kind of cool Sunday. We were hoping to get a bike ride in and do a bit more of that, but we'll have to see. Okay, I'm trying to find. I don't even need the chords; just the lyrics would do me, because I know you teach, but I didn't know what you meant. And you're very blessed, because some of us would really love to have some music students and have wanted it for a long time. And I guess we could say that the Lord or God doesn't want us to at this point. But he obviously wants you to, so I guess that's a good thing for you. Probably be better than doing it in the schools for you. Oh, right. You're going back to the in the schools. Which is ironic. Well, but you don't need lessons, but this. Okay, I'm glad that you feel like you can. Anyway, I'm just going to read a bit of this, or sing a bit of this if I can. I really only know the chorus. I'm not too sure what I'm thinking of the verse, to be honest. But it goes like this. Let me know if you've heard it before. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. And that just repeats itself. Okay, there might be. Do you have a song request? Oh, only 2 students. Well, I mean, but you know what? There's 2 viewers here right now, and you're the only one saying anything at the moment, but some people are shy or whatever. But you what? Yeah, song request? Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to look at that and see if I actually do want to do a music video of that. If not that, something else. And I've got the spare time, for the most part. So, either of you, really. Yeah, I sure did a doozy of a podcast earlier today. I even Vic noticed some that you've seen before, but I don't want that to be misheard, or do I? Certain something that's blonde in color made it. Anything about angels? I don't know if I told you that at channel, but it's been a long day and I'm tired. Anything about angels? There's quite a few. I actually randomly sang a bit of "She Talks to Angels" earlier today. There I do. This one makes me think of my ex a little bit, ironically. I believe there are angels among us, sent down to us from somewhere up above. They come to you and me in our darkest hours. Teach us how to live, show us how to give, guide us with the love of light. I don't sing a cappella very often. We suddenly have 4 people here. The angels brought 2 more of you. I don't know. I seem like I have a lot of energy. Really, I am quite tired though. And if he comes down, if he comes down, he's probably going to want a podcast, or at least he's playing an other instrument upstairs. I told him we got all weekend. He's like, but we also have tonight. And, part of me gets it, because you know what? Life is short and, not guaranteed. But also part of me thinks it's been a long day. him at work, me just trying to get through the day and podcasting up a storm and thinking and doing chores. And it's like, like I said, the weather's only going to be so on the weekend. And if you want to stop by, feel free to. But it's kind of like, yeah. And if we're home, we're home. Our doorbell doesn't work, just so you know, but you can reach us somehow or knock. But the only kind of thing we kind of have, and it's a little bit more varied as far as what time is, we usually take an afternoon nap. Um, Other than that, we'll be around. Just try. Yeah. And thank you for the compliment, by the way. Now, I am doing this on the cell phone. I'm very tempted to bring you on as video, but I know it's late and spur of the moment, but I'm tempted because it would be nice to see you, and I'm familiar with you, and it'd be nice for our other viewer, and there's only one at the moment, to see you. I don't know if I can do it now that I'm rolling, though. And actually, that's kind of how we started with Michelle. I said, I do podcasts. Would you like to be on my podcast about, basically the work that she does? She said, sure. And then I says, and can I be on yours and promote something? And unlike Barry, she said, sure. And then it's just been a connection ever since. And I talked about something, I really should appreciate it more, and I do appreciate it. But something, she's just brought so much special into my life, you know, meeting you and even the person you introduced me to at this point, um, you know, joining us at the festival and y'all joining us, um, being there to talk with, um, a gift, um, free cannabis product, for health treatment reasons. I mean, it really is quite a blessing, and that's how we know that they exist. Sometimes we don't necessarily call them that. So some of us may not. But is there really a reason not to call them that, though? I mean, you know, um, and the other person, they're like, oh, blessings are angels. Both, of course, right? Anyway, you're the only one here right now. But yeah, if he comes down, he sees I'm rolling, I could say, well, there has been some technical issues. Right now, it's okay, and we're familiar with someone that's here. Not on Facebook or anything, you know, but and I think he met you a couple times. But honestly, I'd really rather do more podcasting on the weekend, and you're welcome to come in and join us in person. Actually, or I don't even know if I know how to do so now that it's rolling anyway. I'm happy that you're in the chat, to be quite honest. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. However, I will share a little story before I wrap up. And if you have any other song requests, feel free. But it is getting late. I just heard the instrument that he's playing upstairs, so he'll be downstairs shortly. Because he knows I do want to get to bed early. Or, before long. But recently, I followed a guy. He was in Sri Lanka. I thought he was saying he lived there. Apparently, he was saying that he's only traveling the world as a gypsy. And so he was just staying there. And the one time I was watching him, and he had somebody else with joining him. However, bedtime story. He had somebody else on. They weren't really on camera. They were somewhat on camera. I saw their guitar a little bit, and every now and then I saw like the corner of their head a little bit. I don't know if that was intentional or just not paying very close attention, or I don't know what it was. And he wasn't playing very loud. Neither of them actually. Yeah, he's new to playing music. He did say that, it's true. But he's good. I try and encourage him to belch it out. Not that it always means that means you're doing it well, but to be a bit louder. Not because I even struggle to hear him. It just seems so soft and gentle. And I totally got the vibe from him, but I was wrong. And so far, his style is his style. He does a lot of the same songs. One of them is a real surprise and very ironic compared to because of something I saw at the festival. Anywho, so that same time, he had it set up that way already. And I can't remember exactly how it came about, but next thing I know, I'm on the camera with him. We agreed to this. He sent me a link. And I'm on the camera with him, and it wasn't really a jam together kind of thing. He maybe wasn't that used to it. Didn't want things to get too loud in the hotel he was in. I don't know what it was. And it had a very fancy wallpaper or whatever. Anywho, but he let me play an Ed Sheeran song, Afterglow, and I can't remember if I did another song, and we talked a little bit. And that was very random, spur of the moment, and I mostly think that's cool. There's a part of me that's like, oh, never know, what to expect when you do that, but that's part of why it's cool, I guess, right? But, yeah. I'm thinking also of the last time I saw one of my friends who passed away a few years ago, and his mother at 104 recently passed away. I saw them. They were at a relative's gig at a place nearby, and then in a video call. But it was kind of dark there. His mother was kind of distracting, this and that, and then that was the last time I saw him. So, but hopefully we'll see much more of each other. And this is not very highly charged, and it's been a bit wonky donkey, so I am about to wrap up. But just so you know, Delia, that we met this summer, randomly was showing the video and popped in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Hi. And with that, and remember, we're anonymous with our names on here. Big G and Big C is good enough. But yeah, anywho, glad to have you here, and I'm glad that there was no further technical issues. There's been a second person, I don't know if it's been the same person, but there's been like two there for a while, one of them being you. Then they go away, and then two for a while, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yes, we're wrapping it up, but yes, please, like I say, if you'd like to pop by for half an hour to an hour this weekend, either randomly or ask how to reach us best, and in the way that works best for you, and maybe we'll connect. Come over for a coffee or something. Alrighty, have a good night. Bye for now.